ये है केरला का मनारसला नागराज मंदिर, जहां हर साल हजारों कपल्स आते हैं टू वर्शिप द नागास फॉर रिमूवल ऑफ देयर फर्टिलिटी इश्यूज।
It is a belief that if a childless couple come here and pray to Lord Nagaraja, he removes all your doshams.
हमारे इंडिया में मदरहुड एंड फर्टिलिटी को काफी सेक्रेड कंसिडर किया जाता है। ओडिशा में तो देयर इज अ 3 day लॉन्ग फेस्टिवल नोन एज रज पर्व दैट सेलिब्रेट्स वुमेनहुड। This festival celebrates the uniqueness of a woman's menstruation and her ability to bring another life into this world। जहाँ एक जगह हजारों लोग वुमेनहुड को सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं, भगवान से बच्चे होने के लिए हेवी प्रेयर्स कर रहे हैं, वहीं दूसरी जगह आज काफी मेट्रो सिटीज में यंग कपल्स ने चाइल्ड फ्री रहने का डिसीजन लिया है।
I never wanted to be a mother.
I'm medically not capable of having kids.
I want to focus on my career.
It's very easy for a man.
I want to focus on myself.
But for a woman, it's very, very difficult.
It's a choice.
I wouldn't say I regret my life, but it was unnecessary. There was no reason for me to be here.
एक अमेरिकन सर्वे के हिसाब से there is a very strong correlation between a woman's education and having kids. It suggests that those who are more educated are less likely to have children. For example, let's look at the comparison between Bihar and Kerala. The female literacy rate in Bihar is 55%, whereas in Kerala it's at 97%. The babies per woman in Bihar is 3, whereas in Kerala it's 1.8. इसका मतलब for every 100 women, Bihar is producing 300 babies, whereas Kerala is just producing 180. और ये ट्रेंड हम इंडिया के बाकी स्टेट्स में भी काफी एविडेंटली देख सकते हैं। जिन स्टेट्स का फीमेल लिटरेसी रेट हाई है, दे आर हैविंग लेसर बेबीज पर वुमेन। पहले इंडियंस यूज्ड टू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ बेबीज बिकॉज़ द लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी वाज वेरी लो एंड द रिप्रोडक्शन रेट्स वर क्वाइट हाई। जो पेरेंट्स एक्सट्रीम पॉवर्टी में थे, दे नीडेड मेनी चिल्ड्रन, नॉट जस्ट फॉर चाइल्ड लेबर बट आल्सो टू हैव एक्स्ट्रा चिल्ड्रन इन केस सम चाइल्ड डाइज। पर जैसे जैसे टाइम बीतता गया, देयर हैज बीन अ सिग्निफिकेंट इंक्रीज इन एजुकेशन लेवल्स, एम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट्स एंड मेडिकल केयर। एज अ रिजल्ट, ज्यादा बच्चे सर्वाइव करने लगे। People started having lesser children, investing more time and energy in each child's education. But parenthood is not quite easy. Raising a child is a humongous physical, financial and emotional investment. The compromise and commitment required for a child is very huge, जिसके लिए आज काफी young couples बिल्कुल ready नहीं हैं। It's because nowadays in developed cities, both husband and wife are working professionals. उनकी life already काफी hectic है and they are focused on their respective careers. Having a child would mean that उनमें से किसी एक को अपना career sacrifice करना पड़ेगा, at least for the initial few years of baby's upbringing. This would eventually lead to compromise on their professional milestone. इसी प्रॉब्लम को कुछ हद तक मिनिमाइज करने के लिए the Indian government has liberalized laws around maternity benefits. Companies are also extending small benefits to encourage men to actively participate in raising children. पर ground level पे things are a bit different. चेन्नई बेस्ड ऐश्वर्या कैथी रावण कहती हैं कि
I quit my job before my wedding and then began reapplying after I was married. The moment people get to know that you recently got married, you automatically assume that you will soon have a child, avail maternity leaves and not consider your job a priority any longer.
It's because हमारी सोसाइटी में आज भी having a baby is considered the most logical and next predictable step after a couple gets married. Earlier, women who married young took on the role of primary caregiver while men had little involvement in raising children. पर उस टाइम के मैरिड कपल्स के पास एक बहुत ही बड़ा सपोर्ट सिस्टम था, जो कि आज मेट्रो सिटीज में ऑलमोस्ट एब्सेंट है, and that is family. According to a survey, 2008 में nearly 37% of households were nuclear, जो कि 2022 तक इंक्रीज होकर 50% हो गया है। Family support is one of the most critical yet often overlooked aspect in a woman's life during and after her pregnancy. क्योंकि while pregnancy, a woman's body goes through incredible changes and need a plenty of emotional and physical support. आज की जनरेशन मेट्रो सिटीज में एक बहुत ही फास्ट लाइफ जीती है। They already have too many responsibilities on their shoulder and having a baby would be a even bigger responsibility. Without proper family support, managing everything on their own would be very difficult. ऊपर से लोग आजकल लेट में शादियां कर रहे हैं. Thus, having a baby might not seem a very good option for them, as they think they would be too old when the child grows up. इन्हीं सारी reasons की वजह से जो बच्चे करना चाहते भी हैं, they don't think that they would be able to give their kid the required time and fit into the shoes of good parents. इसीलिए, rather than being guilty of having a kid and not giving them the proper attention and care, they are choosing not to have one.
I'm not programmed for responsibility. Rather to have, rather not to have a kid than be a bad father.
सुनीता चोपड़ा जो कि एक 39-year-old मैरिड मीडिया प्रोफेशनल है, कहती हैं कि
We travel to unexplored places for weeks, work overtime at office, go to our friend's place for drinks whenever we feel like, and spend our money on everything that fascinates us. We don't want to return home and stress about our kids' homework and hobby classes.
एंड ऐसी थिंकिंग सिर्फ सुनीता की ही नहीं है. There are millions of couples like her who don't want to give up on their lifestyle and take responsibility of a new third member.
I want to go for a play or a film. I don't have to think of, oh, it's school night, or, somebody has to do homework, or like the kid is just too tired.
और ये सारी बातें डेटा में भी properly evident है. According to an interesting study, it revealed that child-free couples were high spenders when it came to their lifestyle needs than the couple with kids. अगर किसी couple को अपने लिए एक अच्छी lifestyle and freedom चाहिए, then that would require money, and raising kids can be very, very expensive. The cost of good schooling, college, tuitions, extracurricular activities, and smart gadgets have significantly gone up in the past few decades.
Raising a child has become 3 times more expensive as compared to the last decade, and this will more than double in 2030.
When I was younger, I often saw and heard my father abusing my mother verbally and physically. My mother was completely dependent on him for finances, shelter, food, clothes, and her children. I don't want this generational trauma to carry through me and my future.
ये कहना था एक 26 साल की इंडियन लेडी का who have decided to stay child free for the rest of her life. बच्चे करने या ना करने के डिबेट में हम यूजुअली इस बात पर ध्यान नहीं देते that a significant portion of our country's population might not have a very healthy childhood. There are a bunch of youngsters who have seen first-hand traumatic and abusive marriages of their parents, and they don't choose to inflict that on a child. It's because many Indian marriages are stuck together despite abuse, neglect, and incredible dysfunctionality for the sake of their children, not realizing that the scars of being a part of dysfunctional household did greater damage to their kids.
My parents didn't have a great marriage. As far as the emotional aspect of parenting is concerned, I don't think my parents had the capacity to realize that some parts of that the parenting they were offering us were not exactly ideal.
Infertility is another big reason why couples are unable to have babies. It's a condition where the person is not being able to get pregnant after 12 months or more of regular unprotected sexual intercourse. पिछले कुछ सालों में there is a rapid rise of infertility cases among Indians. 1 in every 15 Indian couples struggles with this. And according to a study, there are around 27.5 million infertile people in India.
I want to tell children that your parents don't own you. You do not need to do anything for them. You do not need to come under their blackmail. You do not need to listen to them.
ये इंसान एक 31-year-old businessman है जो अपने ही पेरेंट्स को sue करना चाहता है for bringing him to this world without his consent.
I want to tell parents that you don't own your children. You do not own every decision they make. They are individuals, not your investment.
इनके हिसाब से हमारी दुनिया में ऑलरेडी काफी सारे प्रॉब्लम्स हैं. बढ़ती पोल्यूशन, महंगाई, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, ट्रैफिक और इतने सारे प्रॉब्लम्स के बीच में एक और नए इंसान को लाना विदाउट हिज और हर परमिशन इज मॉरली रॉन्ग.
I feel life is very complex and struggle and all. With children's life will become more tough. I don't want to expose one more human life to all this struggle.
ऐसे व्यूज रखने वाले लोगों को एंटीनेटलिस्ट कहा जाता है जिनके हिसाब से बच्चे पैदा करना इज इमोरल एंड अनएथिकल. ये कहते हैं सफरिंग इज अ पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ, सो व्हाई ब्रिंग समवन इनटू द वर्ल्ड एंड मेक देम सफर. सरप्राइजिंगली एंटीनेटलिज्म कोई मॉडर्न थ्योरी नहीं है. इट्स अर्ली ट्रेसेस कैन बी फाउंड इन ग्रीक फिलोसफी वे बैक इन 406 BC. पर कुछ रीजनेबल एंटीनेटलिस्ट के हिसाब से इट इज वर्चुअली इम्पॉसिबल फॉर एवरीवन टू स्टॉप प्रोक्रिएटिंग, पर एक कंट्रीब्यूशन कैन बी मेड टू स्लो डाउन द पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ. दिस इज बाय अडॉप्टिंग अ चाइल्ड rather than having one's own biological one. But in reality, चीजें कुछ और ही बताती हैं. सुलोचना कालरो from a Mumbai-based NGO says that
a majority of the adoptions at the organization are by couples who are unable to have their own children.
Environmental concerns have, in our experience, never featured on the list of reasons for couples here wanting to adopt. For most of the people, sentimental reasons are the key motivators. पर बच्चे ना करके, all of this freedom, depending on lifestyle and career growth, comes at a heavy cost for some couples. When the couple gets older, they feel a sense of loneliness, lack of companionship and care. कई females के हिसाब से उन्हें तो ये भी लगता है that they have missed an entire chapter of life that is considered by many to be essential. It's because एक बच्चे के लिए माँ का जो selfless love होता है that can rarely be found in any other relationship. It's that feeling which makes a mother stay up all the night and place the kid's need before her own. एक स्टडी के हिसाब से तो an Indian marriage that does not produce any children results in a 10-fold likelihood of ending in divorce or separation. इन्हीं सारी problems को tackle करने के लिए the child-free couples have found some solutions. They are actively taking part in building retirement support and health group for the community. अगले 4-5 सालों में we will see a great jump in the number of such type of groups. Individuals are volunteering in orphanages, schools, and even indulging with neighborhood kids whenever they miss having children around. Some have also even started having pets whom they love like their own children. Child free रहने का डिसीजन जितना ही एक कपल के लाइफ को पर्सनली अफेक्ट करता है उतना ही एक कंट्री के फ्यूचर को भी अफेक्ट करता है. According to IHME report, by the end of this century, दुनिया के 183 countries won't be able to maintain the existing population. Countries like Japan, Ireland, and Italy's population is expected to decline by more than 50%. All of this is because हमारे fertility rates gradually day by day drop होते जा रहे हैं. In developed countries, the average replacement fertility rate should be at least 2.1. इसका मतलब every 100 women of the country should at least have 210 babies to maintain the population level. पर over the past few decades, अगर हम इंडिया के ही fertility rates पे ध्यान दें, then in the year 1971 it was 5.2, 1988 में 4, 2003 में 3.1, 2017 आते आते it became 2.2 and as of today it is 2, just below the replacement fertility rate. इसका मतलब अगर ऐसे ही चलता रहा, then in the upcoming decades our country's population will start to decline. Lower fertility levels होने से एक country के working population पे उसके aging population का काफी pressure पड़ता है. It's because the older population comes with a bunch of economic risks like higher healthcare costs, pension benefits, public funded programs, and labor force shortage.
South Korea is one of the world's most advanced economies. The country's fertility rate is 1, meaning an average South Korean woman has 1 child. Many don't have children at all. In Singapore, the fertility rate is 1.1. In Hong Kong, too, it is 1.1. 1.3 in Spain, 1.3 in Italy, 1.5 in Canada. In America, there are just 1.7 births per woman. And so is the case in China.
और fertility levels कम होने से एक country पे सिर्फ उसका monetary या फिर economic impact नहीं पड़ता. There the people suffer way more mentally and emotionally. Lower fertility rates means the adults have fewer and smaller families, reducing the quality of community participation. It also leads children to have fewer siblings or to have no siblings at all. Sibling relationships are often the longest relationship a person has in their life, providing stability and support. कुछ studies के हिसाब से ये भी notice किया गया है that elderly parents who live with their adult children have better mental and physical health outcomes than the elderly adults who live alone. पर हमारे इंडिया में child free रहना is a bit difficult as compared to other countries, as there is a lot of pressure from family, relatives, and society. It's because शादी के बाद parenthood का concept have been knowingly or unknowingly passed through us since past several generations. Most traditional people even consider it very selfish that young individuals are actively choosing not to be parents. They start judging and assuming that something might be wrong in the couple's marriage or they might be infertile.
Yeah, they find it very funny. They find it, something crazy, in fact.
Neighbors do have concerns that, okay, if there is some problem, we have a good Baba there is a remedy for this. Even some of the people told me like, okay, this is I may be in depression, like that.